Are we ready, everybody? Let the record show that it is 10:03 a.m. and we'll call to order the special October 28, 2019 council meeting for the City of Durant. Please stand while we have a prayer given to us by Fire Chief Roger John. Remain standing while Vice Mayor Steve Brittingham leads the flag salute.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the many blessings you've given each one of us. We thank you for this council and the mayor and how they give of their time for city business. And we pray that you be with them with all decisions they have to make and that affect Durant from now on. And just again, thank you for their time. Thank you for how you blessed Durant. And I pray that you be with all the employees. And as they work each day to keep everything going, just watch over and protect them. Thank you for all that you do for us, and we give you praise. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Please join me in flag salute. Pledge
allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Before we start, Councilman Tomlinson will give a tribute or give us a small talk about the death of Chief Powell.
Thank you. Well, I was asked to say a few words, and that may or may not be a few words. It's hard to say a few words about a great man. But our community, the Choctaw Nation, and this nation lost a wonderful, wonderful person over this past weekend. Chief Gregory E. Powell. Many of you probably had the opportunity or the blessing to know Chief Powell. If you did, you had no truer friend, a better friend. I had the pleasure and the honor to know, I'm going to call him Greg. But Greg was a person that I have known probably some 30-odd years, and led a tribe through some trials and tribulations back in the 80s and early 90s, and became the chief in 1997, and played a very major role in the wonderful growth and expansion of not only the Choctaw Nation's commerce side, but in the service and social services through health and education and many, many other programs and departments that are within that great nation. He'll truly be missed by many, and I can't say enough good things about the friendship that I enjoyed with Greg and Pat, his wife. She was always side by side and shoulder to shoulder with the chief, and probably his best supporter and number one fan, I'm sure. And I would ask that we keep Pat and Greg's family, has a daughter and a son, grandkids, that we keep them in our thoughts and prayers this week. I don't think services have been announced yet, but we're going to miss Greg and what the person he was, the leader he was, and the friend he was. And I ask that we keep he and his family in our thoughts and prayers as this week goes on, and for the coming weeks for the family. Chief Greg Powell, we'll miss you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Tomlinson. Our first order of business well, I guess we better have the roll call first. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Morris,
Present.
Councilmember Shear. Here. Councilmember Tomlinson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Here.
Mayor Groby.
Here, we have a quorum. We're all here today. Our first order of business is to consider approval of Budget Amendment 2020-04. Miss Ann Chan.
Mayor, Councilman, this is the budget amendment, 1820 to 1823 is all our grants that we confirmed how much we have. So this is just a little bit adjustment. It's already in the budget, but because of the numbers, so I have to do some adjustment. And the number 1824, this is the airport authority, because right now we are manage our own airport. So when we do the budget, we did not put operating expenses in it. So right now I just put the operating expense so they can use the money for the operating. So is there any question?
Are there any questions for Ms. Chan?
Move approval of Budget Amendment 2020-04.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am. Second item of business, consider approval to purchase a Pierce Ascendant 110-foot aerial platform. Mr. Roger Jones.
Good morning,
Chief
Council. So what we're doing is we're asking for approval to purchase the Pierce 110-foot aerial platform. This is the truck that was brought to you on the last council meeting, and the total price of the truck is $1,006,452.60. The max grant that you request is $1 million. So our part would be 5% of that. It's a 95-5 match. So the federal government is paying $952,380, and our part is $54,071. So that's a bargain. We would like to use. We would like to take the money out, the match money out of our capital expenditure money. We have approximately $87,000 in there that was set aside for a new pumper truck. Right now we need that money, so I think we need to, would like to ask permission to use that money to pay our match with.
Any questions for Chief Jones?
One other thing I would like to say is the federal reimbursement, they're still working on this new system through the FG grant is through a new FEMA.go system, and so all requests go through this website. They're still building some modules on this program, so the funding could be held up for just a little bit of time. They talk like they should have it in a couple weeks, but we all know sometimes there's glitches with software, so we're working on, they're working on that. I would like to ask that in the case that the funds aren't there at the time of purchase, that we maybe go to the, I've talked to James Dalton, and I think he's talked to Ann Chin, and maybe using some city reserve funds out of the general budget to make this initial purchase and then let the AFG reimburse them.
I'm just curious, Chief, what is approximately, give me an overview, what the loose equipment is?
Well, we're going to take a lot of the loose equipment off of one of the pumpers that we're going to be surplusing.
What is loose equipment?
Well, it'll be fire hose.
Okay.
It's going to be hose.
Oh,
It's going to be axes. And nozzles will come off of it. Most of the other things will be like a fan that we'll pull off truck. We'll eventually have to purchase some more equipment, probably another exhaust fan and maybe another rescue saw. So, and that would come out of our budgeted items.
I know you need it, I just, for my own knowledge, wanted to get educated a little more.
Sure, sure. Delivery time on this truck, this is a stock-built truck, so it's one they have in stock now. Delivery date, probably 30 to 40 days, according to them. I told them we'd like to have it by the Christmas parade if possible, so I'm trying to speed up the timing on it. They will take it back to the factory. Right now, I think it's down the street at Devotech. But they'll take it back to the company, go all the way through it. They'll deliver it down to Kansas City to the dealer. They'll go all the way through it again, and so it'll be ready to go in 30 to 40 days. So, any other questions?
Just maybe a question of if indeed there's a motion and the vote is to move forward, does that in itself, and Paul, you might help me here, allow the use of the funding, 80-something thousand, I think you talked about.
54.
54, that's can move forward also at the same time, right? Yep, okay. I move approval to purchase the Pierce Ascendant 110-foot aerial platform fire truck.
We have a motion, and do we have a second?
I second it.
Is there any further discussion? Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Councilmember Shear, Councilmember Tomlinson.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
This is a wonderful addition.
It is. It is.
Congratulations, Chief.
Chief, that
Thank
will
you.
fit in the, you're not gonna have to stretch the building, are you?
No, sir. We're going to put it at Station 3,
Which
So-
is,
which will be up by the casino.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay. I'm next up too, so I'm next on the agenda also. So
Oh, you next.
I'm not going
Okay.
anywhere.
Okay, number
Did
three.
everybody see the picture of the truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I just now noticed it was up there. So.
Consider approval to purchase a 2020 Chevrolet 2500 crew cab to be used by the fire marshal.
Yes, the current truck that the fire marshal is using is a Dodge Durango. It's a 99 model truck, and the paint is peeling on it. We've got Jerry replace some plugs about every month or two on it because it's fouling the plugs out. It's just wore out. And I was going to attach a picture of it, but the day that I was doing this, he was out working in it, so I didn't get one attached. But we would like to purchase a truck off the state contract, 2020 Crew Cab Chevrolet, and make it a new fire marshal vehicle. We would like to take the funds from the sale of the original truck he's using to buy a topper for the back to where it would be better use to him. Right now, he's taking the I guess the samples and everything he's getting from a fire, and he's keep putting him in the vehicle that he's in and his gear that he's wearing while he's in there, and really that doesn't need to be carried around inside the same vehicle with him. So we think this would be a plus also. We would like to take the existing funds, or close to the existing funds needed for this truck, and pull them out of that same budget item that we pulled the funds for the AFG from, and to purchase this vehicle.
I might add, that's a really good price.
It's a very good price. I'm
Yes,
really
it is.
surprised. Yeah, I think James had given me this information from a truck he had purchased, and yeah, I was really surprised you could get one for this.
Is there any further discussion, or?
Chief, that existing truck is a lot better than what I'm driving, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion anyway that we purchase it.
Thank you, sir.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Would the clerk please record the vote?
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham.
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye. We got a new truck.
You might want to look at this truck. You might want to purchase this
Maybe I
Durango.
trade.
Thank y'all.
Number 4 on our agenda is executive session, and we need to make a motion, or could we have a motion that we now recess into executive session?
So move. Second.
Okay. Would the clerk please call roll?
Councilmember Morris,
Aye.
Councilmember Shear,
Aye.
Councilmember Tomlinson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Brittingham,
Aye.
Mayor Groby.
Aye, we're now in executive session.